Right, welcome back to another on-base baseball video. My name is Brian Hafferkamp, and I'm the designer of On-Base Baseball. And in this video, we're going to wrap up a game between the Mets and the Expos. This is 1986. In fact, it's August 9th is when these two teams played. And right now it's going into the bottom of the fourth inning. The Mets are up 6-0. Had a huge first inning against Tibbs, I think his name is Jay Tibbs. For the Expos, who actually had a good year. There was a 3-run home run from Keith Hernandez, so the Mets were up 3-0 right out of the gate. And then later there was just a series of unfortunate events, really. There was a 2-run single from Ron Darling, the pitcher, after there was an error, should have been out of the inning with only the 3 runs, but then had 2 unearned runs there because of an E7, so an error out in left field. There was another run scoring single from Ron Darling. He's got 3 RBIs. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles and 3 RBIs in the first 2 at bats, so sort of a career day. And you never know when you're going to roll the dice, right? But it literally has come up as the only hits, possible for him. So kind of a strange sort of deal. And he's basically just mowed down the Expos for 3 innings. So we'll see if that keeps up. I think after this inning, we're going to need to pull Tibbs. He's at 22 batters. His stamina is 23. Although he's settled down since that first inning. He gave up 1 run in the third, but he's actually settled down pretty well. Just kind of one of those things where roll after roll after roll, you were just getting hit and hit and hit and hit by pitch and errors, and like all these strange things started occurring, kind of like it happens in baseball. So we have Tim Wallach, Krinchicki, the first baseman, and then Luis Rivera, who's playing shortstop for Montreal. That's your next 3 batters up, and they're facing Ron Darling. I am using the 1980s game chart, game engine chart, and that one's been specifically designed based off of the statistics from batters and pitchers from the 1980s. So testing this out, the 80s decade roster sheet should be available in this week sometime. I think everything looks good so far that I've seen and that I've tested, so I just want to make sure that I'm not missing something before I release those. But that should be coming out this week sometime. So we have Tim Wallach playing third. He's a -4 batting runs. Darling is a 343, so FIP, so he's pitching out of this column here. Tibbs is a 351, so he's barely into this column number 2. And so we're looking at Ron Darling. It's a 1-3. And a 1-3 to a -4 is going to be a ground out. That's a ground out to the first baseman. And 1 out. Next up is Krinchicki. I can't remember his first name. Had it over here somewhere. Wayne Krinchicki. Krinchicki? Something. I don't ever remember his name, so I'm not sure. That's a 5-5 to him. A 5-5. He is a -8, so it's here. A line out or a foul out if it's a 5 or more. So it is a 5 or more, so we're just going to call that a foul out. So that's going to be out number 2. And then a 3-4 to Rivera, who is a -8. That's going to be a single with an error check. So it's a single to center field. We'll check the error. No error on the plate. So just a straight single. And then Bill Ardello, the catcher. It's another 3-4, and we know that -14. Another single, so with an error check, that's to left field. So back-to-back singles, and because there's 2 outs, that runner is going to go from first to third. So getting something cooking here. I wasn't sure if they were going to get to the pitcher's spot or not, so I'm going to go ahead and pinch hit for Tibbs since he's had a rough outing so far. And let me get that pinch hitter. Okay, so the pinch hitter is going to be Andres Galarraga. So he'll be pinch hitting here in the 4th inning, kind of early, but hopefully we can pull someone in who has a little bit of stamina to get them through the middle innings. So Galarraga pinch hitting, he's a 2 batting runs for 1986, so he'll be hitting out of this 3rd column. He is facing Ron Darling, who's coming out of the 1st column, and let's see what happens here. It's a 2-3, so with 2 outs, runners on the corners, and Galarraga is up. A 2-3 is going to go to a 2, and that's going to be a ground out to shortstop, but there's a plus, so we'll do an error check. No error on the plate. So the shortstop makes a play for the 3rd out of the inning, and we're going to go to top of the 5th inning. We need to find a pitcher for Montreal, so let me do that real fast. All right, we're going to go with Andy McGaffigan. McGaffigan with the 333 FIP. So he'll be pitching out of column 1, and he has his stamina is 12, so that should get us, you know, through maybe the next few innings, hopefully, you know, if he pitches well. So he'll be facing off against Strawberry, Kevin Mitchell, and Ray Knight in this top of the 5th inning. So 4-6. Again, he's pitching out of this 1st column. So 4-6 to Strawberry is going to be a line out or a pop out. If it's a 7 or greater, it is. So we're just going to say, let's go ahead and figure out where it goes to. So there's a pop out to the pitcher spot. We'll just give it to the first baseman. That's normally what happens. 4-5. So 1 out in the inning. 4-5 to Kevin Mitchell. Mitchell is a 12 batting runs, so it's going to be here. That's a single, a long single, and Mitchell's speed rating is a 4, so he's going to stop at first base, but he's on with a base knock, his first hit of the game. A 1-3 to Ray Knight. Ray Knight also a 12, so a 1-3 is going to be a ground out, and that's a grounder to second base. So with 1 out, we're going to try for the double play. I always like to assume the out at second, so we'll just call Mitchell out, and then we'll roll against Ray Knight's speed rating, which is a 2, so he's going to be out at first. So that's a 4-6-3, and that gets the Expos out of the inning. And so 3 up, 3 down. Even after the single, McGaffigan gets inning-ending double play, so nice first inning for him as he slows down this Mets attack. And the lineup has been turned over, so Ron Darling will be facing the top 3. It's Foley, Webster, and Tim Rock Raines. And Raines walked in his first at bat. Foley had a single in his last at bat. Not a lot happening at the top of the order yet. So against Darling, it's a 1-2 and a 1-2 to a -3 is going to be a ground out to second base. So the second baseman is Wally Backman. He puts that away. There's a 1-1 to a 14. A 1-1 is going to be a strikeout because Darling's pitching out of the first column. So that's going to be a strikeout swinging. So he gets Mitch Webster swinging. And a 4-6 with 2 outs. 4-6 to Tim Raines is going to be a strikeout. So that's back-to-back strikeouts for Ron Darling as he gets Tim Raines looking, and that's going to be the end of the inning. So we go to the top of the 6th inning, still 6-0. Mets over the Expos. McGaffigan in his 2nd inning of work here. Ron Darling still on the mound for the Mets. He's at 18, 19, 20, 21 batters. He can go 28, so he's not really, he's going to hit for himself again. He's already got 3 RBIs. Why not? So a 4-4 to a -26 is going to be a walk. So McGaffigan He walks Santana, the shortstop. His speed is a 1, so he's not going anywhere. We're going to go ahead and bunt with the pitcher. And on bunts, anything 1 or a 2, it's down here, sacrifice. If a roll is a 1 or a 2, then the bunt is unsuccessful. We have a 3 on our D9, so that's going to be a successful sacrifice. And so that's going to be out number 1. Runner is at second base, and it's going to be Lenny Dykstra. Lenny Dykstra is a 20 batting runs. The roll is a 2-6, and that's going to be a single with an error check. So it's a single to center field. No error on the play. That's actually his second hit of the game. He had a double leading off the game. So that puts runners at first and third with 1 out. 1-6 is going to be a fly out with an advance of the runners, and so it's a fly out to right field, so deep right center field, and that's going to score the run from third. So we'll call that a sac fly, and that's also going to advance the runner to second base. So runner moves up, Dykstra moves up. That's going to be out number 2 in the inning. But it does score the run from third, so Santana comes in on the sacrifice fly from Wally Backman. There's a 1-2 to Keith Hernandez. A 1-2, he's here, and that's going to be a ground out to the first baseman. First baseman pitches over to the pitcher who's covering, and that's going to end the inning, but the Mets do tack on 1 more run. So now it's 7-1 or 7-0. Mets over the Expos, as Ron Darling faces the heart of the order. It's going to be Andre Dawson, Tim Wallach, and then Krinchicki. There's a 6-6 to Andre Dawson, and that's going to be a double for the Hawk. It's his first knock of the ball game. So the Expos have a runner at second base with nobody out. It's going to be Tim Wallach to the plate. A 2-4 from Wallach. Pitching out of this first column, a 2-4 is going to be a double play or a strikeout. So that's going to be a K as Darling gets Wallach looking. And that'll be out number 1 in the inning. A 6-6 to Krinchicki. He is a -8, so a 6-6 is a chance for a home run. So a single or a home run if it's a 7 or greater on the D9, which it is. So Krinchicki takes Darling deep, and it's the first blemish really against Ron Darling, as he gives up a 2-run home run to Wayne Krinchicki, the first baseman, and that's going to score Dawson from second. So now 7-2 as the Expos get on the board here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Another 6-6, and that's going to be to a -8. Same thing. It's first base or home run, and we got back-to-back home runs. So Rivera, the shortstop, with a home run. In the bottom of the order, they go back-to-back against Darling. Against Darling, and we'll see. We'll see if he can get out of the inning. He's still at 7-3 now, and we'll see if he can work his way out of the inning against the bottom of the order. That's a 3-4. A 3-4 against a 14 is going to be a single with an error check. It's a single to center. So Darling seems to be losing it a little bit here with 3 straight hits, 4 hits in the inning. And we're going to go ahead and pull Ron Darling from the game. I think we've seen enough. And so let's go ahead and get a new pitcher for the Mets. Right, into the game for the Mets is Rick Anderson, and he will be facing off. It's a tough decision here, but I'm going to go ahead and pinch hit for McGaffigan. McGaffigan provided 2 innings of relief for the Expos, did a good job, gave up 1 run. So we're going to need a pinch hitter, and then we'll have to find a new Montreal pitcher as well. Okay, we're going to go with Mike Fitzgerald as a pinch hitter here in the 6th inning for Montreal. And haven't found a pitcher yet. Actually, I think we're gonna go with Kurt Brown, honestly. So let's go with Brown. We'll write him in here. Brown with a 260 FIP. He didn't throw a lot of innings, but hopefully he was with the team at this point. I'm not checking rosters or anything like that. But I have him on my roster sheet, so I'm going to use him. Okay, so Fitzgerald is up. 1 out, a runner at first base, and already 3 runs in the inning for the Expos. So 2-4. 2-4 to a 6 is probably going to be the same thing. Let's see, our pitcher's a 338 FIP, so he's coming out of this first one, and a 2-4 there is nothing, so it goes to the batter. So it's going to be a double play, an automatic double play, so 4-6-3. So we go fielder's choice here for out number 2, and then a 4-6-3. So Fitzgerald comes in. Anderson ends the inning as he throws to one batter and gets the Mets out of the inning. But the Expos cut into the lead, 7-3 now. As we head into the top of the 7th inning, like I said, it's Kurt Brown, 260 FIP. And so he'll be facing off against Gary Carter, Strawberry, and Mitchell. 1-6, that's going to be a fly out to center field. And that's out number 1. Darryl Strawberry up now. And he's a 25 batting run, so 1-2 to him is going to be a ground out. So he pulls it down the first base line, but the first baseman, Krinchicki, is up to the task. He puts it away, and that's out number 2. Here's a 3-6 to a 12. So that will be a fly out to center field, and that's going to get the Expos out of the inning. 1-2-3. Go the Mets, and we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's now 7-3. Mets over the Expos. So we're going to bring in, let's see, Anderson just started, so he's got plenty of gas left in the tank. It's going to be Foley, Webster, and Raines, top 3 for the Expos. Here's a 4-5, and a 4-5 to a -3 is going to be a single with an error check, so a single to right field, and no error on the play. So Foley with his second hit of the day. It's a runner at first with no one out. It's a 5-5 to Webster. 5-5 to Webster. He is a 14. So that's going to be a double play or a strikeout. The roll is to the first baseman, so we're going to go assume the out at second. So that's going to go 3-6, and then we'll roll against Webster's speed, which is a 7. Tough to double him up. So we go 3-6 on the put out, fielder's choice, and that puts a runner at first base. So Webster is at first base, Foley out at second on the grounder. They can't turn the double play. A 4-6 to Rock Raines is going to be a strikeout swinging. Tough day for Raines. It's going to be the second out of the inning. So 2 down, runner at first base, and Andre Dawson up. We're just going to go ahead and try to steal with Mitch Webster. Seeing Dawson, Wallach, Krinchicki are coming up in the next inning, so even if he gets thrown out, we still have kind of the heart of the order coming up. So anything 7 or less on the D9 is going to be safe, and he's safe at second. So a little gamble there with the stolen base, but now the runner's in scoring position. A single will score him from Andre Dawson. A 1-5 to the Hawk is going to be a ground out. He grounds out to the shortstop. It's the 3rd out of the inning. So the Expos can't capitalize on the hit that they get in the inning, and they get a man to second base with 2 out and can't come through with the clutch hit. So still 7-3 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. We're going to leave Brown in. Brown can go 9 batters. He's only faced 3 so far, so both pitchers looking okay. He's going to be facing the bottom of the order, Ray Knight, Santana, and then we'll have to see about a pinch hitter. We'll see what happens. 2-5 to Ray Knight. See, 2-5 is nothing here. Knight is a 12. So a 2-5 to a 12 is going to be a fly out down the left field line. And there's an error check. No error on the play, so left fielder Raines makes the play. He comes running in and he catches it at the line. And 1 down in the inning. Santana up now. A 4-5. 4-5 to a -26 batter is going to be a single, a long single. His speed is a 1, so he's going to stop at first base, but he's got a single. And we'll have the pinch hitter, I mean not a pinch hitter, but this will be Anderson, the pitcher. And he is going to bunt. And so let's go ahead and bunt. And that bunt is unsuccessful. And what we're going to do is we're going to call that a strikeout. So he tries to bunt, and he is unsuccessful. Runner does not move from first base, so anything a 1 or a 2 is not a successful bunt. So that gamble, it wasn't supposed to be a gamble, but it was, and it didn't pay off. So we go to Dykstra, top of the order, runner at first base, slow runner at first base, and Dykstra up. He's a 20 batting runs. So a 2-6 to Dykstra is going to be a single with an error check, so that's going to be a single to center field. No error, but Dykstra on with his second straight hit. He's got 3 hits on the day. He's 3 for 5, and that's going to push the runner all the way to third base with 2 outs. So runners at the corners. Wally Backman to the plate. A 2-3 to Backman. He is a 10. And a 2-3 to a 10 is going to be a ground out with an error check. So the ground out to second base. No error on the play. Second baseman is Foley. He's going to make the play over to first for the 3rd out of the inning. So a lot of traffic on the bases there, but no runs come across as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Mets still lead 7-3 over the Expos. We left Anderson in the game. He's only at 5 batters out of 13 that he can face, so he may even be able to complete this game. So 1-3. 1-3 to Tim Wallach. Wallach is a -4, so that's going to be a ground out to the second baseman. That'll be the 1st out of the inning. Krenchicki up now. 4-6. 4-6 to a -8 is going to be a fly out. That'll be a fly out to right field. For out number 2, brings up Rivera, the shortstop. He homered in his last at bat. Had a solo home run. That's a 5-5 to a -8. 5-5 is going to be a line out or a foul out. So it's a 4 here. So we're going to call that a line out to the third baseman for the 3rd out of the inning. So he hits it hard. He hits it right at the third baseman. Third base for the Mets is Ray Knight. So 3 up, 3 down go the Expos in the bottom of the 8th inning. They'll have one more opportunity. We're going to leave Kurt Brown out there. He's faced 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's got the stamina to go another inning. Let's see if he can shut down the Mets once again. This will be Keith Hernandez, a 1-4. 1-4 to Hernandez is a long single. Hernandez's speed is only a 2, so he's going to stop at first base. Nobody on base, so the effect of the long single is not felt. 2-2, this is going to be big trouble. And this is Gary Carter. He's a 10. And a 2-2 is going to be a double or a triple 8. It's a 1, so that's going to be a double. And that'll put runners at second and third base with nobody out for the Mets. So Brown in a little bit of trouble here. Has got Darryl Strawberry at the plate. A 2-4 to Strawberry is Brown's out of this first column here. So a 2-4 is going to be a K. So a big strikeout for Brown as he bears down with runners on at second and third. Now 1 out, and Kevin Mitchell to the plate. 1-2 to Mitchell is going to be a 12. 12 is going to be a ground out with the runners advancing, so maybe a little slow chopper to second base. Second baseman comes in, flips to first, and gets the out, but everybody moves up 1, so that's going to be an RBI for Kevin Mitchell as the run from third comes in. Excuse me. So runner at third base now, 2 down. Ray Knight to the plate. 2-6 to Knight he's a 12. 2-6 is going to be a single with an error check, so single to left. No error on the play, but Knight's going to knock in that run, and that's going to be an RBI for Ray Knight. Hopefully Brown can get him out of the inning here. 6-6 to a -26 is going to be a single or a home run. That's going to be another base knock. So Brown's getting lit up here. The decision to keep him in is not a good one. And runners at the corners, and the Mets are going to go ahead and pinch hit here for... Actually, let's just go ahead and let Anderson pitch out the rest of the game. He still has the stamina to do it, so we'll just let him pitch it out. We'll let Brown see if he can get the pitcher out for the third inning. We're all sort of gambling here. 2-3. 2-3 to Anderson. What is Anderson? Let's see if I have him listed here. I don't have him listed here. He's off of the page, so I'm just going to use Darling's number of -14. I don't think Anderson as a relief pitcher is going to be much of a better hitter, so we'll say a 2-3 to a -14, and that's going to be a walk. So Brown really struggling here to get this last out of the inning, but we're sticking with him because he's got guts. So bases loaded, Lenny Dykstra to the plate. 2-6 to Dykstra is going to be a 20, or 2 at 20 is going to be a single with an error check, single to right, no error. And we're just going to have to lift him here because we can't keep the merry-go-round going. That's a 2-run single. Runners now at first and third. And the game is officially out of hand on Brown's back. So let me get a pinch hitter here for Brown, or pinch new pitcher, a reliever. Okay, the reliever for Montreal is going to be Tim Burke. Burke comes in with a 353 FIP, and 7 is his stamina, so hopefully he can just get this last out of the inning. He's coming out to get 1 out. It's going to be Backman, so 5-6. Backman is a 10, and that's going to be a walk. So never good. That loads the bases once again for the Mets, as they have 3 men on, a 1-3, and that's going to be to Hernandez, a 1-3 to Hernandez. Mercifully ground out back to the pitcher. Pitcher underhands it to the first baseman for the 3rd out of the inning. But not before the Mets get 1, 2, 3, 4 runs in the top of the 9th to take the commanding 11-3 lead. And we need we're going to stick with Anderson. Anderson actually walked and wound up on 3rd in that inning, so we're just going to stick with him to finish the game. Hopefully he can get 3 outs and mercifully put this one away. So he will be facing the bottom of the order, Bill Ardello. Bill Ardello is the catcher. He's a -14 and a 2-4. Yeah, Anderson's coming out of this column here. So a 2-4 is going to be a strikeout looking. Let's go ahead and let Burke go up there to hit just to get this one over. So Burke, what is he? I don't even know if he's been listed as a batter. He has not been listed as a batter, so I don't think he got any. I don't think he got any at bats. So let's just go ahead and use the -7 for Tibbs. And that will be okay. I could look it up, but I don't think that it's on there because I have all the batters for Montreal. So he just hasn't had an at bat. So definitely hitting out of this last column as a reliever. I don't want to give him any more than that. So it's going to be Anderson to Burke. It's a 4-5. A 4-5 out of this last column, of course, is going to be a single. And his speed is not going to be enough to qualify him for a double. So pitcher at first base extends the game, and Foley is a -3. That's a 1-3 to a -3. It's going to be a ground out to the catcher. Again, I like to assume the out at second, even for a catcher. So we go 2-6, and then we roll against Foley's 5 speed rating, so he beats it out. So I can't turn the double play from the catcher, so that's going to be a runner at first base with 2 outs. And Mitch Webster to the plate. 3-6 to Webster. Webster is a 14. 3-6 is going to be a walk. Comes off the pitcher. So first and second now with 2 outs. 3-3, and that goes to Tim Raines. 3-3 to Raines is going to be a double to deep center field over the center fielder's head, and that's going to score 1 run. And with 2 outs, it's going to score 2 runs. So a 2-run double from Tim Raines as he contributes finally to the game. He was 0 for 3 up to that point, 1 for 4 for the game. 4-5, that's to Andre Dawson, the Hawk. And that's going to be a long single. Dawson's speed rating is 4, so he's going to stop at first base. But with the long single, Raines is going to score. Dawson with the single down the left field line, and that's an RBI. So trying to make the ending score a little bit more respectable here. Wallach with the fly out to center field is going to end the ball game, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So with the 3 runs, 4, 5, 6, 11 to 6. So our final here is going to be a wild one, 11-6. 7 runs were scored in the 9th inning. How do you even figure that? So I will total these up and come back with the player of the game. All right, we come back with our totals. 11-6 is our win for the Mets over the Expos. This is 1986. 16 hits for the Mets, no errors. For the Expos, 6 runs, 12 hits, and 1 error. Player of the game is Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra here, 4 for 6, 2 RBIs and a run scored. He had 3 straight singles. He had a double in the first inning and scored the first run of the ball game. Keith Hernandez was a close second, 2 for 6. The home run gave him 3 RBIs, and he had a home run and a single. Other notables, I almost gave it to Ron Darling just because he was 2 for 2 with the 2 singles, 3 RBIs, and a sacrifice bunt. So that's definitely a worthy honorable mention for the Expos. Who's here? So 1 for 4, Tim Raines, 1 for 4. He had a 2-run double there in the 9th inning. And Krinchicki had a 2-run home run, had back-to-back home runs from Krinchicki and Rivera. So a little unexpected pop at the bottom of the order for the Expos. For the pitching lines, Darling 5 1/3. He's actually going to get the win. Should write that in. And Tibbs is going to take the loss. So Darling 5 1/3. He scatters 8 hits and 3 runs, 7 Ks. Anderson came in relief, and really he was solid until this ninth inning. He gave up 3 runs to the Expos. Tibbs started out rough. You can see here, first inning was really tough as the Expos batted around in the first inning, scored 5 runs in the first. But he settled down, giving up only 1 more run over the next 3 innings. McGaffigan came in, provided a little relief. Brown threw some gas onto the fire. We pushed him a little too far as he gave up the 4 runs here. Just hit after hit after hit, and it wouldn't stop. And so we brought in Burke, and he got the last out of the game. That is using the new on-base 1980s game engine, which typically it doesn't play quite so such a high-scoring ball game. I think that this game in real life was 10-8. If I remember correctly, the Mets beat the Expos 10-8, so pretty close to real life, actually. And wait a second, we can double check that just to see. So this game was played August 9th. This is the August 9th game. So it was actually 10-8. You can see Mets over the Expos, and quite a lot of scoring toward the end of the game. In fact, it was a well-pitched game until the end. So pretty close. 11-6 is our final. 7 hits, 11 hits, 16-12. So actually pretty close. Closer than I would have expected. But this is using the 1980s game engine chart. Again, this will be available with the 1980s roster sheets. And so that'll be every player who's played, who either got an at-bat or got into the game to pitch. We saw one instance today where we had a reliever who didn't get an at-bat in the season, so you could have just easily pinch hit for him and sort of kept that. Or you can give them a rating, just have them hit out of the last column. That's where most of the pitchers are going to head out of anyway. So these will be released. It'll be every player who got in a game from 1980 to 1989. So starting to get into my era of baseball. I remember the 89 World Series. I vaguely remember the 88 World Series. Don't remember anything before that. And so we're getting into sort of my era of baseball, but we have the 1970s out right now. The 1980s will be coming out soon. And then I don't know if I'll continue forward and do the 90s or if I will press backward and do the 60s or the 50s. If you have any thoughts on that, leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. I want to eventually have all of the seasons of baseball where you can really just buy them as one complete package where you buy every season of baseball, or you can decide by decade which decade you want to purchase. So that's in the future, and I'll keep plugging away at it until I get to that point. So maybe this time next year we'll have a full set of all of baseball that you can play using the decade roster sheets. So would be some interesting things to do with mixing and matching in draft leagues and things like that. So hopefully that will come to play by the end of this baseball season or going into the next one. We have a CBA agreement, so seems like there's going to be baseball next year, and normally and on time, and hopefully we'll be able to get all the games in this year as well. So that is On Base Baseball. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll get to them very quickly. So just leave those there, and we can start a dialogue around the game, or if you have any questions about the game itself or the gameplay. I will make sure that I post when the 1980s set is available. I know many have asked about that set, and so that will be available very soon. All right, I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.